Hey kids, welcome back again to our video series, You Don't Need No Dang Realtor to Sell Your Home, and we're going to teach you how to do it. We are now in episode 3 of our second segment being marketing in today's marketplace, making your property stand out as best they can. And in this third episode, we're going to go over how to get your listing on real estate websites. There are a lot of them. And some of them syndicate from the MLS, as we discussed earlier in episodes 1 and 2. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. So the MLS, Multiple Listing Service. This is the database in which real estate professionals share listing information. Only real estate professionals have access to the MLS. As a civilian, you can't necessarily buy access directly to the MLS to put your listing there, but you can pay for what is called an entry-only listing. Basically, you're going to get a hold of a realtor that does have access to the MLS, and you're going to pay them a flat fee just to enter the listing. Not going to manage it. There's nothing else that we are going to do to curate that listing. It's just your content. Whatever you decide to put in there, we're just going to press the right buttons and copy and paste your listing information, and away it goes. Now, this is different for every locality, different for every realtor. In fact, not every realtor does this, but do some homework, and you'll usually find one or a handful of realtors that will accept a flat fee to do this for you. And what you've done for whatever that might be, $1,000, $2,000, is allowed yourself access to listing syndication to all of the big boy advertising platforms, your Zillows, your Trulias of the world. Those websites are pulling listing information with a certain frequency. It's not every 10 minutes, and it's different for each website. They're pulling that listing information from the MLS, and they're posting it to their website automatically. Now, as I said, the frequency with which that these websites do their data scrapes, their pulls, is different. So Zillow, I believe, at this point is every 2 hours. Trulia can take a day. There are some other websites that only pull data, once a week or every couple of days. So you have to be cognizant of that. You don't want to list your property on the MLS. It's on Zillow in an hour, and you start taking buyer traffic and maybe accepting an offer on that first or second day before your listing even has an opportunity to make it to half of these other advertising databases. You want to take your time, get the listing information out there in all available platforms before you start really showing your property and entertaining offers. That way you have maximum eyeballs and maximum ability to leverage those interested parties against one another to get the best value for your house. We keep talking about that. That's the ultimate goal. Now, once you have gotten the listing on the MLS and you've gotten it syndicated out to these various advertising platforms, you then need to go and claim your listing on each individual platform to make sure that you are receiving the buyer inquiry traffic from each one of those platforms. So if you follow me, MLS publishes, Zillow picks it up, you got to log into Zillow, make sure you claim that listing, make sure your contact information is correct, and it might seem to you as easy, well, why don't I just put my phone number and my email in the listing description, that way people can call me. Not every website allows that, number one, because they are a business themselves. They want the traffic, the user traffic, to be using their website and their website's functionality. And still, many buyers, many users of these advertising databases, sometimes they shy away from direct calls to a seller, in this case, or a realtor, and they'd like to use the on-platform functionality for contact, like, click here and contact the agent involved. They want to do it that way. So not only do you need to go in and claim those listings and make sure your contact information is correct so you're receiving the buyer traffic, but still some other platforms, as I described, they may not even let the user traffic leave their platform. You need to log in to their proprietary messaging software to be able to interact with these buyers. So it's a lot. It's something that us realtors, we have time blocks in our schedules that we know we have to set aside a couple of hours each day to go into these various platforms and review all the user traffic and make sure we're responding to everybody in a timely fashion. And man, let me tell you, is timely a big deal here. People people these days with 24-hour accountability with the cell phones, I mean, if I'm not answering text messages and emails within a couple of hours, forget about a day, people start to get heated, especially in what we all understand is very, very competitive buyer's market right now. Everybody's competing over very few homes. There's very low inventory. So if I, as a buyer, make a call to you and I really want to get in to see this house before the rest of the crowd because I want to give myself an advantage, hopefully, in actually winning a bid and finally getting a home for myself, and you don't answer my call for a couple of days, boy, I am pissed at you. So make sure, again, you're time blocking. You want to make sure you got time to answer all of these messages and get back to people in a timely fashion. In addition to that, on each platform, you really got to police the listing information. In episode 1 and 2, we talked about making sure we're not getting to misrepresentation land. We don't want any errors in the listing information that are going to force folks to think that, what else is wrong with this house? What else are they trying to pull a wool over my eyes on? You want everything to be completely accurate so folks have the utmost confidence in your listing information and the truthfulness thereof. And to that end, you need to, once you've syndicated your listing out there, and those advertising databases that don't have syndication, you've posted your listing information there, you need to constantly police it. The internet and computers are fallible, just like everything else in this world. And syndication is literally a game of telephone. So the MLS has the listing information that you gave, hopefully. You created that listing information, you gave it to a realtor. That's one point of failure. Hopefully that realtor entered your listing information exactly the way you described it and there wasn't any errors. Then once it's getting syndicated to all these other advertising platforms, data can get corrupted, listing information can get misinterpreted. Some of these advertising databases don't have the same exact fields for listing information that your MLS may. So, like we talked before in episode 2 about washers and dryers being on the first floor. Lots of listing databases don't even have a location toggle. Is it on the first floor, second floor, down in the basement? But it's an important thing for lots of buyers. If you're not an able-bodied person and you don't want to go down into the basement to do your laundry, you really need it where the bedrooms are, on that first floor if it's a ranch, and vice versa, upstairs if it's a colonial or something like this. You need to police this listing information to make sure the syndicated information got there correctly, and make sure that anything that wasn't present in your listing information on the MLS and needs to be present on the advertising database actually gets there. You get the idea. So this is kind of a job unto itself, and it takes a large part of everybody's day. But now you at least have the landscape and you have the know-how necessary to do the job effectively and really make sure that the buying public out there is getting your listing information digested the way it's supposed to be on each platform, and you're getting out there to answer all their questions in a timely fashion. Now, if this is starting to sound like too much, you get the idea. We're here for you. Give us a call. And if you like this information and you are getting out there and making use of it as your own seller's agent, don't forget to like and subscribe and come back for the next video. See you then.